On May 3rd, Saudi-led coalition entered Yemen. According to reports, about from 20 to 50 soldiers have landed in Yemen's strategic port of Aden for a reconnaissance mission, and more troops are coming. The deploying of Saudi-led forces seeks the goal to help forces loyal to US, Saudi proxy president Abdurrabbu Mansur Hadi. Lately, a spokesman from the Saudi-led coalition, Brigadier General Ahmed As-Siri, has denied the claims about ground operation in the port. There are no foreign forces in Aden, but the coalition continues to help fight against the Houthi militia, As-Siri said in a statement. Notwithstanding the denials over any ground operation in Yemen, Saudi Arabia has started training hundreds of Yemeni tribesmen to fight the Houthis on the ground. The training received by the Yemeni tribesmen in Saudi Arabia allegedly includes light weapons and tactical advice knowledge. According to the Reuters source, the kingdom plans to boost deployment of such units to fight the Houthis' resistance. Another source reports some 300 fighters have already managed to return to Yemen after getting Saudi training. They were originally sent to the Sirwa district in the central Marib province to battle Houthis in the area. The fighting is ongoing in a number of major fronts. In Aden, the Houthis are engaging tribesmen who are supported by Saudi-led air forces. In Yemen's third largest city, Taiz, Houthis are fighting the Sunni Islamist fighters. The Houthis and their allies have been also fighting both Islamists and local tribesmen in Marib and in Sabah provinces. They are formerly valid part of the forces in Yemen, which Saudi Arabia is training and arming with US intelligence and logistics supports, are radical Islamists. Probably the only forces that are gaining as a consequence of this conflict indeed are Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. Senegal Foreign Minister Mankeur Ndiaye confirmed on Monday that the West African nation would be sending a detachment of 2,100 troops to Saudi Arabia as part of an international coalition cobbled together by the kingdom in its war effort in Yemen. The amazing fact that Senegal declared involvement in a war thousands of miles away from its borders, while dangerous West African terrorist group Boko Haram has declared allegiance to the Islamic State and has changed the name to Islamic State's West Africa Province, or ISWAP. Furthermore, Senegal force isn't engaged in interstate coalition which opposes ISWAP in the region. Human Rights Watch says it has credible evidence that the Saudi coalition has used cluster munitions supplied by the United States in its airstrikes against targets, include those close to cities and villages. In recent weeks, the US-backed coalition has used cluster bombs in Yemen's northern Sa'ada Governorate, a region bordering Saudi Arabia which is historically controlled by the Houthis. Cluster munitions pose long-term dangers and are prohibited by a 2008 treaty adopted by 116 countries. The World Health Organization said recently that at least 944 Yemenis have been killed and nearly 3,500 injured since the start of airstrikes campaign in Yemen. Now we perceive the reason of these numbers. Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the foiled attack on a controversial Prophet Muhammad cartoon contest near Dallas, Texas, that ended with both Assyrians being shot dead by a traffic cop. The announcement was made on the group's radio station. Mainstream US media dubs that ISIS was directly involved in planning and choosing the target of attack. It's the first time that Islamic State has claimed it was behind an attack in US soil. However, it definitely isn't the first mark of ISIS developing in USA. Therefore, the group doesn't focus entirely on Iraq and Syria, how US officials want to believe. In order to get additional political revenue in the ongoing conflicts in Middle East, US has lost the moment when so-called moderate rebels groups, often supported by US government, have arisen in America.